Hello everyone, hope you all fine. So today we will start with the chapter number 2 of civics, that is secularism in India part 2. So in this video we will going to learn about the secularism in India part 2. So in this we are going to learn about the what is an Indian secularism. Basically, what is Indian secularism? The Indian constitution mandates that the Indian state be secular. According to the constitution, only a secular state can realize its objective to ensure the following. If we want that our India should be secularism, so we can achieve or we can follow these objectives. First, that one religious community does not dominate another. Second, that some members do not dominate other members of the same religious community. Third, that the state does not enforce any particular religion, nor take away the religious freedom of individual. So these all are the three objectives that we have to follow to achieve the in that, or we can say that if we want that our India should be secularism. So here is the few example of Indian secularism. In this example, one student asks their teacher that, "Sir, there is a big religious festival next month. We have never celebrated it in school. Can we do it this year?" Then sir replied to their students, "As I am afraid that isn't possible, Rekha. This is a government school. We cannot give importance to any one religion. Private school may do that. Government school don't celebrate any religion festival in the school premises. Most religious festivals are public holidays so that we can celebrate these at होम." बेसिकली आपने देखा होगा जितने भी रिलीजियस फेस्टिवल्स होते हैं उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में या किसी भी गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस में वेकेशंस इंस्टीट्यूशंस में पब्लिक हॉलीडे होता है, कभी भी वो गवर्नमेंटली सेलिब्रेट नहीं किए जाते. तो ये शो करता है कि गवर्नमेंट डू नॉट इंटरफेयर द रिलीजन और डू नॉट सपोर्ट एनी रिलीजन. Here is another example of Indian secularism, that one person who is wearing a helmet, he says, "Hey, I hope you have a helmet. You know the law in Delhi requires that you wear one. Why aren't you wear a helmet? Do you want to be fined?" Then sick person replied, "Don't worry, I will not be fined." Then the helmet wearer person asked, "Hey, Pamjit, why wouldn't you be fined? तुम्हें फाइन क्यों नहीं लगेगा?" Then that sick person replied, "For sick, wearing a pagdi is very important part of our religion. The government cannot force me to wear a helmet." जो सिक पर्सन है वो ये रिप्लाई करता है अपने फ्रेंड को, हेलमेट वियर फ्रेंड को, कि हम सिख हैं और हमारे लिए पगड़ी वियर करना बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है हमारे रिलीजन का, और गवर्नमेंट हमारे इस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में, हमारे रिलीजन के इस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में इंटरफेयर नहीं कर सकती. So there is a review of both the example 1 and 2. The review is, the celebration of religious festival within the school would have been a violation of the government's policy of treating all religions equally. Government school cannot promote any one religion either in their morning prayer or through religious celebration. This rule does not apply to private school. Paramjit the Sikh youth does not have to wear a helmet. This is because the Indian state recognizes that wearing a pagdi is central to the Sikh religious practice, and in order not to interfere with this, allows an exceptions in law. So all they both examples showing you that there is no interference of government in any religion of a citizen. So here is the some points in Indian Constitution. That is, the Indian Constitution ban untouchability in order to end the social practices that it believes discriminations or discriminates and excluded, and that violates the fundamental rights of lower caste who are citizens of this country. So we can say that the Indian Constitution grants the right to religious communities to set up their own schools and colleges. It also gives them financial aid on a non preferential basis. So there are the another point of view about the Indian Constitution, that is, in order to end a social practices, it believes discrimination exclude and that violates the fundamental rights of lower caste who are the citizen of this country. So similarly, to ensure the law that laws relating to equal inheritance rights are respected, the state may have to intervene in the religion based personal laws of the communities. So here are the some ways, what ways in Indian secularism different from that of the other democratic countries. So this secularism is different from the other democratic countries, like the First Amendment of the US Constitution prohibits the legislature from making laws respecting an establishment of religion or that prohibit the free exercises of religion. But what is the meaning? What is meant by the word establishment is that the legislature cannot declare any religion as the official religion, nor can they give preference to one religion. But in the USA, the separation between the state and religions means that neither the state nor religious can interfere in the affairs of one another. So this is continued as abolish untouchability. In India, secularism, though the state is not strictly separate from the religion, it does not maintain a principal distance, vice versa, religion. So, these ideas serve as the standard through which we can judge whether the state is or is not behaving according to secular principles. So, it's all about the secularism in India, part 2, in which we all read about the some points of Indian Constitution. Hope you like the video. Thank you, everyone.